Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, yesterday, just before I left work, I received in the mail a mystery box. And inside this mystery box is actually a bunch of really cool old vintage kits, many of which I have never seen before. And it was sent out to me by a gentleman named Dan, who I super appreciate you thinking of us and the museum, but that's what he did. He sent out a box of kits out of his own collection that he thought would be very, very nice to put into the model museum and show off all this stuff. And I'm going to open it up right now. We're going to tear into it a little bit here. We're not going to make this a super long video. This is something I just want to share with you, some of the old vintage kits. And best thing is he put it inside bags and told me the year produced and everything else about it now. So there's all kinds of stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s inside this box. So what I thought I would do is take a couple of moments right now, tear into these, and share them with you. So let's get started. The very first kit I want to share with you guys today is a Johanne 72nd scale Bf 109, and you can build either the F or the G version of this Messerschmitt. And I have to say, I've had thousands and thousands of kits come through my hands in collections over the years, and I have never seen a Johanne airplane before. This is actually the first one, and obviously I've heard about them before, and I've seen pictures of the box art, but have never actually held the kit, which we are looking at right now. And as we open this kit, Johanne did something really, really cool. Now, many of you may know Johanne was the first company to put a frame around their sprue. Make their sprue a frame where it wasn't just the parts just off of one center tree. This was all the one that had the edge around it to protect it. But they went one step further on this kit. I will first show you the instructions, and they are a simple two-page instruction. That page right there, and then on to the last little bit of accessories. Got a little sheet of decals inside here. Actually, not bad looking at all. But this is it. This is the cool part, is the way this sprue is designed. Look at the corners here. They went ahead and on all four corners, they built a riser into the sprue, and it completely protects even more so the model kit. If you guys have ever handled old vintage kits before, you ever pick up the box and you just hear a billion parts rolling around inside there, it was because it wasn't very well protected. Now, I know this centerpiece fell off right here, and that may have come off afterward, but if you can see, once you put this back inside here, it is pretty secure. They've made it to the size of the box, and if this hadn't fallen off right there, there'd be nothing bouncing around inside there. So a cool, innovative idea, I thought, and it's something a little bit different. What I thought I would do, too, is to see if we can get some nice shots of the quality on this. So it is all recessed panel lines, and obviously a very simple kit. But for 1973, I don't see any problem with this kit at all. And actually, I'm kind of surprised that Johanne's airplanes didn't end up doing better. But I guess it may have been a little bit too little, too late for the company at that time. But definitely a great addition to our museum piece to have for our airplane section is the Johanne Bf 109. Next up, I have something very, very exciting to put inside the museum, and that is a bunch of the 50s and 60s bagged kits from various companies. And if you're not familiar with, a bag kit was a simple way for a simple kit to go out to the masses. They were hung on pegs, as you can see right here. And it was primarily Airfix that did that, but we also have one from Frog up here as well. But the cool thing about getting these bag kits is I actually have some armor. And if you guys watched the last video, I mentioned I don't have any armor set aside for the museum. I just never really collected many of the old stuff for myself, but now we can just take a quick look at some of these. So we have here from Airfix the 00 scale. And I have to admit, I am not sure what 00 scale is. I didn't do any research before I started this video. I just opened it up and is sharing it about live as I'm actually seeing it for the first time too. So here's a 1916 Mark I tank. It looks like this is a male tank too. But see how this would be? This would just be hanging in all types of stores, and it would be an impulse buy that someone would, a kid usually, would see this, want to buy it, and sees all the parts inside, and sees what they're getting into before they actually do. So we've got this Airfix 00 scale, which, based on the size of the figure in the vehicle, I'm guessing is this the 76 scale stuff? If you know, please go ahead and tell me down in the comments, down in there. Then we also have, from that same series, this Airfix Bren carrier. And looking at the size of the guy, yeah, it could be like 76 scale. So that's definitely cool right there. And one thing that was really cool was Dan, when he sent this out to me, he put on each one of them the year it was actually produced. So these were produced in, both of these were produced in 1967. And then we have the ME 262 from Airfix. This one right here was produced in 1960. Still got a 50-cent price tag on it there. And decals, I've seen a few better days, I'm sure. But we've got that iconic light blue plastic that would have been trying to duplicate the bottom color of the 262. And this is an oldie right here. This is the Stuka. This is from 1957, and even look at the Airfix label is different from the one that, at least the one I always grew up knowing. And you can see here we've got a 72nd scale Stuka in the bag. It's got a little stand inside there, some simple decals. But yeah, 1957 Airfix kit, very, very cool. And also a frog kit. And this is a sea venom. Sorry about the reflection on the back. Obviously, I'm not going to open these. We want to leave them in the original bag to maintain what it would look like in the 50s and 60s when you got a hold of one of these kits. So very, very cool. And finally, we have a couple of car kits. More car kits for the collection, but very excited to get these because I don't have any of these already. And up on top here, we have two kits from Pyro, both in 32nd scale and both produced in the mid-60s. I believe 66 is the date on both of those. And right here we have a little, actually it's a two-car collection inside this little tiny box. This was made by the Ideal Toy Corporation and their Precision Miniatures. And inside of this kit is from 1955, tiny, tiny little box. And I'm going to open it up carefully here to let you see inside here. Move those pyros out of the way. And we have our instructions to build a 1903, actually there's two sets of instructions in here. A 1903 Cadillac. You can see, pretty simple on that. And on the other side, a 1900 Packard. So both kits are inside there. They're still partially in the bag here, but some real tiny little plastic. This must be like, what do you guys think? I'm thinking maybe like 48th, 43rd scale. I know that was kind of thing. And see what I was talking about earlier when I talked about before the sprue was around everything? So this is very common in the 50s. There would just be a center tree and everything would just be branching off of that center one right there. But because of that, all the parts are always falling off falling off there. So that's kind of a cool one to get it from the Ideal Toy Corporation. And then I'll just let you look inside here. One of these. This is the Pyro kit. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, even in 32nd scale, this is a decent sized vehicle here. Oh, 1965 is the date on this one. Kind of interesting. They actually went and took the trouble of molding in the wood underneath the vehicle, which, you know, you would think for the time period they wouldn't have spent the extra effort to do that, but they did. Some of the other little engine parts. Got some chrome inside there. Clear parts, frame, and then more of this really bright lime green plastic. So, but still, very, very cool. And let's just take a quick look at what the tires are. They actually are still flexible too. Very interesting. I'll pop these instructions out for you guys as well if you want to take a quick peek at those. Yep. One-page instructions right there. Everything goes together on one page. Makes it really simple. And then on the other side, you got room for advertising. And look at some of the other kits that they were coming out with at the time. Very, very cool. This is the artwork on this is just so reminiscent how you can just look at this right away, and disregarding the prices, you immediately know this is from the 50s and 60s, the way they drew everything up. But very, very cool. Well, there you go, guys. There is a quick peek inside some very old vintage kits again, and in really good condition. Perfect examples for the museum when we finally get around to that. Now, one thing I will point out, I will do complete video showing all of that stuff. We still have a little bit more time before I have the room, first of all, back there to start, you know, getting display cases, things like that. And the display cases are really tough to get a hold of right now with what's happening in the world, and also very, very expensive. So we will get a hold of those soon, and as the thing progresses, of course, I will give you some updates on that. So once again, I want to thank Dan. I won't give out name or last name or anything like that, but Dan, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, and I know everyone that eventually visits the museum back there will enjoy looking at these blasts to the past, we'll call it. But no, super appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys too for watching. Please stay tuned. We have many more videos coming.